had a baby and I felt it was hard.
Good morning, everybody. Just want to make sure you're good. I just want to make sure that everybody knows we're going to get started in a couple minutes. Get this thing popping. Try to go quick 30-40 minutes. Couple recaps. Sorry. Okay. Just make sure. Okay. Give it a couple minutes. I'm going to start off a little bit early because, or like right on time to try to get you guys out of here faster. It is a busy time. What's everybody doing? I'm going to move to this camera real quick so you guys can see the board.
Is that your
This one? It is, no, it's one of the faves. It's one of my faves. It's a ghost. It's like all natural, like caffeine. And it has like what do you call it? Where it's like neurogenic stuff for like, yeah, and for your brain. 0 sugars, no artificial flavors. It's got all kinds of good stuff. 100% of 4 daily vitamins. Huh? Which one? Riboflavin. Yeah. I record. No, I haven't recorded yet. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's like Kalia's like favorite movie. Okay, so I'm gonna start this bad boy off just because I want to get you guys back out.
Recording in progress.
All right. Welcome in the little boardroom. So I just wanted to touch on a few things. One, a little quick recap of the performance training. We're not able to record those. Okay. We're on the in crowd. They say things just to our teams. So you want to be here. We're going to be launching them once a month. Okay. We're going to have trainings, like they're going to have like anybody who's new on the team, we're going to be running like a 3-hour training, like probably like 9 to 1-ish with a break in between. Provide lunches, things like that. But we're going to run these trainings at least once a month, and we're going to make them mandatory for newer agents. Anybody that is on the lead line and broadcast line, you got to make sure that you're at least 2 trainings a month. So we're going to go through this stuff. I'm going to recap it. A lot of it's going to be the same stuff because the more that we write it down and we actually use the performance training, the more that you're actually going to be implementing it in your business. So boardroom masterminds are about implementation. They're about making sure that you're actually using what it is that you're learning. You don't have to use it all, but you got to know that, hey, there's continual stuff that you should be adding, measuring, and implementing into your business. Okay. So fair enough. So performance training, and I'm going to hit the agenda real quick before we dive into each one. And then the NAR lawsuits and basically your buyer compensation. We had a big meeting in Reels system yesterday talking about the ongoing lawsuit. We're going to touch on that a little bit. Your time blocking, what your weekly success schedule looks like. And there's one here that I'm going to share. And then open door, let's not forget. And then the broadcast lead lines, some best practices. So in your basically the Zillow training, I just wanted to hit on a couple quick things. You should be looking at your profiles and your individual leads daily. Okay. If you don't do it daily, at least 3 times a week, you should be doing it. You should be trying to get reviews. your family, it could be past clients, it could be future clients, it could be friends, anybody that could speak to you being able to be a good value resource as a real estate professional. Okay. You don't have to actually transact with every single person and only do your buyers and sellers. Okay. Anybody who does Google for me, you guys know that it's first and like front and center, that I want Google reviews at all costs. So if you guys have any Google reviews, I will send you gift cards to either you or your client for Google reviews, $50. Okay. So if you want to keep 25 and give them 25, if you want to send them all 50 and have them do a review for you and use me as an excuse to do it, no problemo. Just make sure I'm in it as like Team JT, Justin Ty team, throw my name in anywhere in there with you. And then I actually am on responses and keywords. So as an example, Winter sends me a review from one of our mutual clients. Say, oh my God, Winter's amazing. She's the best realtor on the planet. And great to be a part of JT team. I'm going to say, wow, thank you so much, Lillian, for sending in that review. Winter is amazing. It's a privilege to have her on the team. I look at her as a valuable partner, and we iron sharpens iron. We walk through this together, and thank you so much for highlighting her value and skills. If you need anything from any one of us on the team in the future, we are here to help you. How many team leads do that for their teams? Not many, right? Okay. So I want to be different. I want to be unique with you guys. San Diego team, holler if you hear me. Same thing goes for you guys. I know you've been dropping the love into some of the Google stuff, and I'm going to respond to that. You guys are amazing. Same thing with any of your clients as well. The more that we come across as a team, the more that they'll throw it on Active Realty's profile, the better it is for all of us. Yeah, there he is. Manson Company. I know Dennis is closing a deal somewhere else.
Good stuff, man. Let's go.
Hey. All right. So they started shooting up some Google reviews for us. We can do it back for their team. Like, we really want to promote camaraderie. People don't really care. They want to see that you're active in the business. It's literally in our name. We're redoing our open house signs, our yard signs. I'm going to come through with a complete seller system for any of our leads. I'm going to have all the signs here, all the posts here, all the open house things. You can grab your bundle or bushel or whatever you guys want. And then you guys can do your own stuff on your own business. But on our shared business, it's literally going to be a giant funnel for you guys. The more that they see us as partners, the more I'm going to be able to say, hey, you know what? That one that I have with Winter and I, oh, amazing. Winter's actually running point on this transaction. Let's loop in and see what the latest is with the offers that she's negotiating. Right? So I want to empower you guys without us being online together. It's like me just trying to be like, oh, wow, JT works hard and he's got a lot of energy and woo, you know, it's like, that's cool, but it's way cooler when you guys are in it. Right? So really try to work on those reviews. It's annoying, but I had a termite company reach out to me. Okay. They're like, oh, I want to use you. I say, hey, bro, I want to use you too. Can you do a Google review for me? I'll do one back for you. Right? I looked at his stuff. I thought saw he was a decent company. Boom, we exchanged Google reviews within like 24 hours. I had another guy did a BPO for a team of 3. 2 of the 3 people on a team did a Google review for me just because I busted out a BPO that I charged them for, by the way. And it would be a new $2 million listing in Riverside. Right? So it's like 4 birds with one. I was like, wham, and I just got bird, you know? And so if you're not looking for it though, and your reviews aren't top of mind, you would never do that. Right? But now I'm looking for an excuse. I waited. I gave them all the benefit. I gave them the BPO. I walked through a couple conversations, and they're like, hey, if there's anything we could do for you, let us know. I was like, what is, right? It'd be really helpful to just say how responsive we were to get you your valuation that you needed, right? Even with the big land one that we're doing, we'll get them all this stuff. Be like, hey, regardless, whatever direction, if you do a little review for us, let us know how helpful it was. Huge help to our business. Right? People don't realize we don't just sell homes. You know, we value 20 acres that are multi-millions of dollars that people can build dozens of homes on. Right? People would never know that unless she goes out and we do that and then have them post about it. Right? So super huge. Make sure that you're always doing that because it's a big thing. And then also your CSAT scores. It's going to help that in a big way. So everybody's setting appointment. Everybody is setting appointments. Anybody on the writer team that's going to do like main stuff, try to like at least post some sort of a profile. I know, man, so we went over that. And we'll go over in the broadcast line. Cool. Too cool. And then you guys are crushing ALM, crushing it. I don't know why we ever stopped doing this, or it didn't get out of front and center. Setting their appointments, making sure that you have the location, the motivation, is going to be huge. Role play is coming. Tracking is coming. All these things are coming. We're literally going to have right now, either we're going to stay in Corona or I'm going to get you guys a brand new office. One of the two is going to happen. I'm either going to remodel this one or I'm going to get us a new, bigger one. Okay. You might think I'm crazy. I am, right? I'm going to get the biggest screen TVs that you've seen outside of a movie theater, and I'm going to put them on a giant wall. And I'm going to have all of our performance tracking on that wall. Who has the most closings? Who has the most calls? Who has the most appointments? Who has the most conversions? Who has the most notes? You're going to see it front and center. It looks awesome. You guys want to see what it looks like?
Yeah.
I'll show you like a little picture of it. But I got it from a top team out in Utah, and it was like super impressive. And I was like, I want it. Like, holidays come early for me with leads, purchases, and this kind of stuff, right? So everybody right here. So this is Sisu. Okay, so Sisu I have calls with. But what we're doing, I'll show you guys this. You know, pass it around.
JIFU does that? Car dealerships, like
Yes.
franchise dealers, they
Yeah.
have to have those stats
Yep.
for their headquarters
And why do they do that?
to track their performance, and they compete against each other.
That's right. That's right. Because what you see, what you measure gets improved. So the people that are going down, what I can tell you 100%, and what we've been doing with the training, the people that are making time to prospect and reach out to their clients and be available to their clients are head and shoulders above the production of everybody else. The people that are actually making the phone calls, people that are putting the notes in the systems. It's like, I have to tell you, it's probably the easiest time I've ever seen real estate right now. I've never seen a bar of real estate of producers so low as in we're in right now. The market has scared all of your competition out of it. I've seen all of your commissions go up. Everything, all of your RLAs go up. I haven't seen them go down, not recently. They're all up, right? Because people know their worth. And is it easy to sell a home right now in 8% interest rate market or 7.5%? No. You guys are busting your butts. Is it easier to show buyers homes in rates where it's 7.5 plus? No, right? So you guys are more valuable than you've ever been right now. And oh my God, is it showing? So when we do the performance metrics, I'm going to do it, but it's going to be so open for you guys. So we're running email marketing campaigns. We're running new recruiting campaigns. The sophistication that we're bringing into this company, I've never done it in my life. In 15 years, I've never added this much sophistication, this much tech, this fast. And I know it's going to work because we did this shit manual before. And hell no, this is going to be way faster. Okay. So when you go into doing that, for the next 90 days, it's going to be like, we're just going to do it. We're just going to do it. See how many calls you make. Like, we're not giving awards. We're not like, we just need to make money, right? You guys need to pay your bills. You need to, get some momentum. Hey, Cindy, can you go on mute for me real quick? Unless you have something to say. Woo! Spotlight. Cindy, anything? Okay, no. Okay. So false alarm. So after we start doing that, when you start doing and I haven't figured this out yet, but inside of Zillow, there's Zillow Academy, and you get credit for all of your courses. So when you like sign in, I think I have too many sign-ins because I don't know which one it's affecting. But when you do courses and you do more contributions, you get credit for all that kind of stuff. But what's cool about it is that you can move up. Just what you train, you're going to get better at. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in time blocking. Okay. So you guys are crushing ALM. Does anybody have any questions on ALM? Okay, I'm gonna go to the broadcast line real quick. So we are just under some of our metrics, almost across the board in HomeLight, in Zillow, in some of the other ones, and it's really good. So if it's like 60%, we're like at 55. If it's like at 85% or 90%, we're at 85%. If it's like your met with the client is at 30%, we're at 25, right? So we're like scratching on the surface right now across the board. So ALM trying to book your appointment on any possible call, and definitely make sure that it's click that you spoke to them, that your connection rate is got to be super high. Like you got to try bombard the clients if that's what it takes, and run your ISA stuff, or tag me and I can help you with the ISA stuff, because you can bombard them from different cell phones, and you probably should, right? You should hit them from the exact same thing, but you should be diligent in following up. And if they answer, you can be like, hey, Lillian, I'm so sorry. Like, I know we just didn't connect. You clicked on this information. All I want to do is make sure I gave it to you, right? It's available. It's open. There's going to be multiple offers, whatever it is, give them value. 2-3 value adds. Oh, I have an agent. Go away. Right? Cool. I still want to speak to you. Right? Oh my gosh. So why did you click on this one? Just out of curiosity, if you have an agent, like, doesn't your agent send you off markets and coming soons? Because man, this market's still highly competitive. We send our clients off markets and coming soons. Do you want us to send them to you? Right? And then what happens on procuring cause? We're going to get to it. Lawsuits coming up. Woohoo! Let's sue each other. Right? So, right? So now you have procuring cause. There's literally procuring cause cases like right now across the board. Right? So if you go back in, even if you don't get them, if their other agent is lazy, I think I heard the last statistics, 100,000 more loan officers got priced out of the market. I'm like, duh, right? So would be another 100 real estate agents with them, right? But none of us are. Like, if anything, there's more and more and more people, right? More and more and more clients to interact with, right? So getting more efficient at them, saying, hey, I had a realtor too. I mean, I had a lot of good realtor friends, but this is like realty wars. Like, people keep going down left and right. We're still standing. We got a really good team, and this is what we do.
We had a lead yesterday that she reached out to text her, and she's like, oh, thanks, I have a realtor. I'm just looking right now. And I'm like, oh, cool. You know, are you getting in to see the houses that you want to view? And, oh, no, he's on vacation right now, so I'm just trying to hit open houses. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, if there's not, I mean, I'd love to earn your business while he's gone. Like, if there's anything you can't get into and see on an open house, give me a call. Like, I'm available. I'm not on vacation.
100%.
Like, oh, I'm going out this weekend. I'll let you know.
100%. See? And so it's like, just like, hey, I'm going out. I'm available. I'll show you anything. When it comes to the biggest purchase of your life and the thing that you need actually help navigating, like, you don't care if someone's on vacation, if you're going to buy a house. And by the way, this could be the only window that buying a house really makes sense for people. Do you guys realize that? Because what if they drop? What if they drop next year? And I met with my or basically our marketing team, and I said, you think real estate goes like this, guys? Like, here's your home value. Does anybody in the room think that it's a bad idea and that buying a house is going to be cheaper or it's going to be worth less in the next year or 2 or 3? No, right? So at most, you think it might go like this. And then if you're wrong, like we all might be, right? You know, or because we'd be rich because we just guess shit right. You know, it's probably going to go like this, despite rates. So that means you enter the market here, it gets more expensive. You enter it here, you enter it here. Doesn't matter when you enter it, it's going to be more expensive. So the likelihood that it's going to be more expensive for you to enter that market in an appreciating market just means you're going to pay more. So right now, the only flat curve right here might be right now. And then it might go like this. Right? Because they're trying everything. Do you know that jobless reports, unemployment reports, as low as they are right now, that they've been in the country in like decades? The unemployment rate in the United States is the lowest it's been in decades.
And everywhere they're hiring.
Everywhere they're hiring. So it's the CPI. Okay. So all these things go into the consumer price index, job reports, you know, all kinds of shit, right? So all this stuff is just all positive data. Lowest unemployment rate, highest hiring rate, highest job wages, right? So you think that this is going to come down? Like, everybody's working. Everybody knows what they have to do right now because shit's getting more expensive, right? Which brings me to the lawsuit thing, okay? Is it getting more expensive or cheaper? Okay. Have you always been able to negotiate your commissions? Pretty much, right? Pretty much. What happens if you don't offer buyers compensation? They won't show it. Okay. What happens in a market where it's harder to sell a house?
You just sit.
They'll just sit, right? You got to be aggressive right now. You got to be aggressive with your marketing. You got to be aggressive with your tech. You got to be aggressive with your talk time. You can't damn near not take a vacation because winter's on the line. Like literally winter boom, not winter. You know what I mean? Pun intended. So the thing is that's our market. That's our market. So all the NAR stuff, and I am following it, and I am seeing the repercussions back and forth just to make sure that we stay ahead of the curve. But your sellers are going to ask you more and more, especially if they lose, and the sellers don't have to pay for your buyer's comp. Okay. So that's going to be something that comes up that we're going to have to deal with buyers, right? Now, do you think buyers can afford to pay your compensation or any other compensation at this point? No. So you're simply either going to A, ask for compensation agreements, or B, find them homes of which people are going to sell with compensation agreements in them. Right? It's just the way it is. So they went through this whole thing with real and like ethics and all that stuff. Look, I'm going to show it, but no one can sustain work for free. Not you, not your grocery attendant, not your school teachers, not anybody on the planet can work for zero paychecks. Let's be honest, that this is nuts. The whole ramifications of this is crazy. So then the next people are going to say, hey, well, I don't need NAR. I don't need CAR. Okay, well, I've spent 15 years trying to make a website for the company that uses your data from the MLS. Okay. Do you know what's made it easier? NAR and CAR. Because they have information that is a standard across the board of how you get your data. Okay. What happened, if anybody's been in the business more than 15 or so years, when like the internet was like before, is none of that was standardized. Every board didn't communicate to the other board. High desert didn't talk to low desert didn't talk to inland didn't talk to coastal didn't talk to above LA didn't talk to San Diego, and so on and so forth, all across the United States. Okay. So we're going to go back into the Stone Ages. And then what you're going to have now is tech companies that will take over. Tech companies like Zillow and people like them will now say, hey, if we standardize this and we become Uber, right, then you'll be out of a job in terms of the compensation it today. And that's highly, highly probable, just the way taxi cabs don't exist and the way Uber exists today. So I think, is it really important? Hell yes. Anytime you have nationwide lawsuits that are setting the precedence for an entire country, we should take notice. However, the more that you get good at this here, performance training, all the things that you do well, you're gonna have whatever side of the transaction you want. Because I'm like this, I'm like, wait a minute, does that mean as a listing agent I could just keep 5%? Because if I lose the other 2, I'm gonna keep the 5. I'll sell my own properties and offer $1 while someone eggs me on my way out. It's like, I just don't want to do that. But hey, just let me know how the rules are going to change, and then I'll make sure I have a database of hundreds of thousands of people, tens of thousands of sellers, right? And they'll be super relevant, right? So I just want to know what the ramifications are, and I want to have better conversations with the clients. So in Zillow, like we were talking about, having those conversations with the clients, if this doesn't go well, which has the potential for the short term before something comes back, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys knew what actually happened in this case, but the DOJ stepped in to make sure that the Supreme Court, to make sure that this decision doesn't go and destroy the entire real estate market. Because the real estate market in and of itself, I think the last statistic I saw was like 60 to 70,000 in total revenue every time a house changes hands. From the real estate agents, title companies, people like Zillow, servicers, NHDs, all that stuff, right? Insurance people, for your houses, right? It's the highest driver of productivity in any single transaction in the entire United States, if not the world, outside of like not mainstream like jet or yacht sales, right? So you have like the most, so they're not going to take this lightly. Okay. But the better that you have in terms of those go-to conversations, because let me ask you this. Is this going to make any kind of an impact necessarily for your buyers' affordability in today's market? How so?
They're gonna have to pay an additional percentage for.
But you'll know that going up front, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the conversation you would have with a buyer right now that's looking?
Well,
Building value.
That ask you that question.
for 3.5% down, now it becomes at least 5.5% down, because you're gonna need to fix another 2.
Right?
Yeah.
But you're showing them a house and the house has compensation in it, right? So now you can say, hey, right now you're in the door with the 3.5% down or whatever it is that you're percent down. You won't have to worry about that. But should this happen, they're just gonna pass the buck onto you. So whoever your political view is, how do you feel about taxes? Right? Because they're just gonna tax you more for home ownership, right? They're gonna build it in somehow, right? But even right now in a market where things are tough to do, what are people doing when you get repairs and there's a bunch of stuff on the repairs? Are you like doing all the repairs typically, or are you doing it, getting a credit for all the repairs?
Negotiation, credit.
You're getting a credit, right? So the people are already figuring out a capitalistic way to make sure that you walk in the door with a credit, something, you're getting help just because you're paying a premium across the board, right? So the likelihood that this will happen in the short term is very like few and far. However, I will tell you right now, if we're positioned correctly, it could be the best thing for people that are positioned correctly, regardless of what happens. Those who prepare and have the right conversations are going to have, there's going to be programs that come up. I mean, even the lenders themselves could come up with programs, just like they're doing with the 1% buy downs right now, right? Or 2, right? Cool. So making sure also on the performance thing, go through and use open door. I'm guilty of this. I need to be using them more. Load up Riverside County, load up wherever you can in your open door offers. Try to get those conversations started. Don't lose momentum on it. Keep doing it throughout your day, like reviews, right? I'm like, oh my God, I didn't submit any open door offers today. I'm on open door, right? So I'm submitting offers today because I'm trying to start better conversations. Then I'm also doing the Zillow agent thing, right? Like I just did it to my past client just because I was like, hey, I'm seeing if I can grab her for another year, right? We closed and I'm like, hey, can I be your agent? Right? And she's already my client, but I know she's going to maybe look at the next house to sell or the next thing to do with the $1 million that she just got, right? So I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to stay best practice of using that Zillow agent, okay? Making sure that you're updating your bios, making sure that you're at least putting a little bit of time and attention into, for me, right? Humble, hungry, ready to pour into you, right? I asked everybody, anybody on the call, what's Ford? Anybody remember Ford? Don't say it, Lillian, because I know you know it. Anybody remember Ford?
It's a repair daily.
Yeah.
No, it's a family organization, recreation.
Dreams. Yep. Yeah. So family, occupation, recreation, dreams, right? So remember those little acronyms, right? They're going to help write them down. They're just going to make you, I don't know, a little bit of cooler talk if you go to your next event. And then if you are talking to clients, you should really remember, I'm working on this a lot right now, is trying to stay as efficient as possible. Okay. So those acronyms are going to help a lot. Okay. Time blocking. So going in for time blocking, I wanted to pull up, share my screen real quick. Everybody can see Cindy's headshot. Perfect. So I wanted to throw up, this is an example. I'm going to be doing that JIFU real estate training later today, and I'm going to actually present on this. So this is just a good barometer of what you should do throughout your week. In real estate, there's never a day that you really can't speak for. So if you're going to have a day off, if there's family obligations or whatever it is, you want to try to make sure that there's as much time blocking as possible So if you're not in a position where you can work all the time, every time that you're knocking out what you need to, now let's say you can work a lot, you need to make sure that you're as efficient as possible. So on Mondays, this is like a big, like over the week, you're trying to secure your offers. So I just said, hey, this is my secure it day. So if I'm showing clients on the weekend, if I'm busy, taking appointments or whatever it is, I'm looking for that low hanging fruit right away, people that are making offers or people in my system that I've already been making offers with. And it's all about the follow-up, right? It's about securing that loop and closing the transaction. So you could be cool, show a bunch of houses, but if you don't get any offers done and you don't secure anything and you don't move into an escrow position, you've got another week that you got to try to do it next week, right? So making your Mondays be a time where you're like blocking out, like, a lot of agents right now that are relevant in the listing game, they're relevant for a reason. So if you build rapport with them, especially the areas, how many of them have other things that come up in the area? Oh, I don't have I have another listing coming up down the street. Or, oh, there might be this other one coming soon. Or, oh, you know what? There's this, I live in the same area. I have a similar floor plan. You can see mine because you can't see this one, right? So try to secure as much as you can in that Monday timeframe, okay? Your setup for Tuesdays, it's a lot of time I'm working in the database. I'm like, this is when our training time is. Our escrow pipeline management, like Tuesday is when I'm really trying to move the needle on what I'm closing by Friday or any big ticket items that I need to move. So I'm not waiting on Thursday or Friday to try to fix whatever that is, right? So it took me 3 days, kind of sucks, I'll tell you guys. It took me 3 days to get a request for repair response, just providing a credit from one of my sellers, right? 3 days. Been working on it since Tuesday. I'm like, hey, where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? And then here we are Thursday, right? And I finally got it done. And then, by the way, what do they want to do? Change it, right? So they go, oh, we don't want the credit. We want a reduction in the sales price. I'm like, oh, forget it. Because my seller might lose their mind, right? But I called Tisa. I'm like, let's brainstorm on it. Let's see what we got to do. Like, I'm down, but this is not going to be my fault. You know what I mean? I'm like, and I'm not going to extend escrow because you want to save like $100 in your taxes. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But now I know, like I drove in, I think I got here at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning and it's already noon. And I'm like, crap, I lost half the day already. Right. So I can't believe it's Thursday already. And these are the schedules that I tried to keep up with. Even then, it's things that still escape us because it's not a perfect system. It's just time blocking and making sure you're not wasting too much time. So if you have a client, you can say you put a lot of time and energy and effort into it, get the information out, right? Then move to the next one. Make sure you're moving it forward where you're moving it where, let's say, Winter and I's land one. It's not just a day thing. It might take a couple of days to get all this done. But we're in communication saying, well, have you explored the track map? Have you explored getting anything further with the city or the county? Like we're asking a little bit more information while we're doing our own due diligence because it could have a direct impact on the pricing that we give him. Okay. Wednesdays, continued pipeline management, a lot of your servicing. This is when I shoot, we'll update this. This is when I shoot a lot of my social media is Wednesdays, just because it's in the middle of the week and chances are, I can pick up on anything if I take a block of time and I do something like that. But that should be where you're heavy in your pipelines, in your management, and you're really trying to see for yourself, are you working hard? Are you not working at all? Right? Are you not working the hours that you really want to do? And then all of that, what do you have to show for it? So in the end, do you have any escrows? Do you have any loans that are pre-approved, ready to move forward with your preferred services? Do you have any sellers that are just cleaning up the house and getting it ready? How many people had sellers that were cleaning up the house, getting it ready, and then you never got the listing? Somebody else did, right? If they're like, hey, we're going to decide on it, and then they keep going and they keep going, and it's like analysis paralysis. One of them, there was an agent that was in the listing appointment 3 hours. It was like a lock deal. I'm like, get it done. She ended up going with someone else, right? In the end, it was a house in Palm Springs. Anybody knows the Palm Springs market? Tons of inventory, high purchase price, premium purchase price. And it was a house that was split into 2 units next to a main highway. I'm like, this is going to be like so incredibly difficult to sell in a market where you have amazing, modernized, like turnkey homes that are some of the best homes, like they belong in LA. You know, Palm Springs market's just a really cool market to be in. So if we're going to lose one, no problem. I'll lose in it. No big deal. Right? Because the person is just, the way we finished our presentation was that it's going to be difficult to sell her house. You need to find a family with a $1.5 million appetite that wants to live in half of the house with someone else to live in the other half. Because anybody else can go buy $1 million house in Palm Springs right now and have a gorgeous, turnkey, beautifully updated, modernized layout of a house that they can enjoy. You know? So I don't care that I lost it, to be honest with you. Like, I got to pay for marketing. It takes a bunch of my time, right? So if I can't get her down on price reductions, if the market tells me that that's what we need, then it's going to be difficult. So by setting it up in time block, I'm not wasting 6 hours on someone for a listing. It's just crazy, right? I'll waste 60 minutes tops, right? And then at that point, if I can't convey to you that I'm the right person or my team's the right person, probably not conveyable, right? So just because you have that one person in real estate, you could double your paycheck if you just pick up the phone and get one more, right? Instead of trying to work that one for another 2 hours, right? So Thursday, same thing. We're mid-Thursday right now. Welcome to Thursday. This is you, like in the mall, right? You are here, okay? And so your Friday is like, that's my cleanup. That's where I'm trying to set it up. That's where like the open house is. I'm obviously helping the team, manage the team, finding out who's around, finding out who's not around. You know, you guys are on the broadcast lines. So making sure the broadcast lines across the board are usually set to 10 to 15 people tops, okay? I'm usually putting the people that are your full timers on the broadcast line or people that I know have a chance to pick up that line, right? People that don't have a chance or maybe aren't full time, it's going to be difficult for you to compete with 10 other full timers, right? They're going to smoke you every time. So Zillow calls me and they go, hey, what's up with so-and-so? Not gonna name any names. What's up with so-and-so? Because they can see when you pick up the calls. They can see when you get rotated the calls. They can see when you set appointments. And it all goes onto your little team tracking, right? So I'm going to put that on one of the screens that we have because they see it. So you need to see it. And everybody needs to see it. Because when you come in and we do our monthly check-ins, it's going to be like, you're going to set your own goals. You're going to set your own call times. You're going to set your own, how many do I want to close, right? And all I need to make sure is you can backfill opportunities and you can really close and convert, right? Because I'll give leads, but let's say every lead is $400 to $2,000. Like I asked Zillow, okay, 20, 25 grand a month. I said, Zillow, where are my paid leads? And you have to go to all these reports to get it. I can superficially see our call tracking, our time. I said, no. I want to know what I pay for. And I want to see how many of those I get per month. Because it's somewhere in this range. Don't you want to know? If it's like $4,000 to get a lead or $2,000 to get a lead, right? They're good leads, but I want to know the difference. So that's what we're trying to figure out right now. And we just started the programs. So they see it. We're going to see it when you're on these lines. Zillow, the way I find out who picked up the phone is I have call recording across the board. So do they, but it's not 100%. Okay. Sometimes their call recording doesn't work. Sometimes for whatever reason, there's a glitch in their system. Sometimes you get on a call. I would suggest everybody at least gets the best callback number for anybody you talk to, right? Oh, what was your name again? Great, nice to meet you. And then best phone number, just in case you get disconnected. That's all we do. Don't ask them for a bunch of shit, ALM. 3 to 4 minutes, they're going to grade you. We're going to start listening to calls. There's going to be role play at some point, right?
You guys are gonna play back those calls?
Yes,
Oh.
and we're going to play back those calls. It's going to be weird, right? But I'm going to try to pick them up so I can show you what I do too. Like I'm in this mix with you guys. I'll role play like a motherfucker too, right? Like the girls in the media team, they go, wait, weren't you a backup dancer? And I'm like, yes, I was. I did voice, I did acting, all kinds of stuff. I had to stand in front of stages. I had to do auditions, the most awkward things in the world. You go to auditions, you hear no all the time. 99 out of 100 times, you're getting a no. The way it goes. So you get in the car, sit in LA traffic, drive wherever it is, go against 100 people that look like you in different variations or don't, right? And then you get rejected. This, walk in the park, right? I can actually show them so many more things that, if anything, they'll get off the phone saying, give me more info, give me more data, right? So there's like no fear, because the only thing that I need to know is when, not if, right? If you have a 500 credit score, like, you can't buy right now. No chance on the planet, unless you're all cash, right?
Or 50%.
That's right. So, but I could say, look, this market isn't going anywhere. It's always going to be a great idea to buy a house. What if I set you up with someone to do some credit repair and we just do some soft check-ins? It's not sexy, kind of annoying, but once you get to that 700 credit score, you got options. You can go buy a car, you can go buy a home, whatever you want. Everything's going to be easier for you, because there's a barrier to entry on people with bad credit or people that get cash advances on stuff. It just doesn't help you. It hurts you. It costs you more money. So can I help you get to the point where at least you're wasting less money across the board, credit cards and the like? And if they say, that'd be great, perfect. I got a good connection. I got a good phone call. I got someone to check in with, and I can nurture every quarter, and I can get into someone to say, hey, by the way, who's my hungry LOs right now? Who's my people that are ready to go change some people's financial pictures, and then get it where you never have to make another outbound call if you didn't want to, right? So, and then Saturday, Sunday, game time. Saturday, Sunday, you guys all know, I don't need to tell you that setting up open houses, setting up tours, setting up whatever it is, may have a set. What I would recommend is that you are going to plan that you're going to by next year have at least a team of 5. That team of 5 doesn't need to directly be working with you. You can if you want. But by next year, everybody should have a team of 5 to 10 resources that if you're not around, your listings could be hold open. Your buyers, let's say you have 3 buyers and everybody hit you all at once, there's one of you, right? You should be able to say, hey, I got X, Z through 2, 3 on backup, ready to figure out whatever we got to do with this particular deal, right? You know, you might be like, wow, I got a $2 million lead, but I got a $400,000 or $500,000 buyer that's mine. I don't know how you want to prioritize that. I'm going to the $2 million guy, but you prioritize it whatever way you want, right? Because it's just, I mean, are you already in the area of the $500,000 person? Cool, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But know that you have to have someone that knows what they're doing with the $2 million person, or you'll never hear from them again. Because if they go to somebody else that's opening and running that open house, and they're in $2 million bill plus, they're going to be sophisticated and they're going to get their information, right? So just build in. So when it comes to your game days, when it comes to your weekends, you steadily do what it is to move your needle into development across the board. It's just going to make it where, God forbid, you could take a break and still be able to continue your business, or B, you can work a little bit harder and your factor goes 3 or 4x in your month, right? So I think that covers everything. Does anybody have any questions? Boom. I think one of the fastest ones we've done. Woohoo! Questions, anything? We'll keep them going. Anything. It's a mastermind. It's a mastermind. Talk to me. Any yes.
Just on the Zillow, I got a couple of those calls, and I got some on realtor.com too. There are solicitors, there are, people that would call in, and they're using that realtor.com. I've gotten the agents actually call for availability. They use it for availability call. And so yeah, we were talking about the 400, spending per lead. I don't know what happened, because I've done loans, things that you bogus them out or something like that. Hey, This wasn't our lead. This is You know, just so that you know,
Yeah.
I actually had, like in a day, I had 2 or 3 of those, and that's all they were. They were lenders looking for real estate agent business, and they're using Zillow to connect.
Hey, so use them to get your review.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So there's no way, that's exactly why I wanted to know what the paid lead was, is because there's no way to differentiate anymore that lead line they're going to call and then the one that people can actually get access to, right? They're going to look and appear to be the same. A lot of times they're not, but Zillow knows, by the way, the difference. Okay. And so you're not going to get graded across the board for those spam calls. However, they do grade whether you pick what's your answer rate. Okay. So as an example, right? And this is why I say, like, throw in my DM, throw in my text, whatever it is, solicitor, don't worry about it, whatever it is, right? Because if your answer rate, right, and then you're like, spoke to, which kind of same thing, appointment, set, showing, met, right? And then, like, you know, you're actually gonna, like, you know, escrow offers. So those calls can actually boost your first 2 out of the gate. So right now, if I need my answer rate or my spoke to rate, because all this goes into Best of Zillow, right? It's like each one has its own little analytic or, you know, algorithm or whatever it is. Oh, let me change this back. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay. So right now, so you can see that screen, you can actually use solicitors to boost your answers and spoke to, because that happens individually if they come in as a lead. Like if they say, like, hey, they're a lead as a lender and they're actually not really a lead. I think that was one of them, Sarah or Savannah or something like that. That was yesterday. I looked and saw, but that was a recording I couldn't play. And when I reached out to Zillow, they couldn't play it either, right? So you can use that. Plus, if a lender or a servicer wants a business, right? I'm not saying I'm going to give it to you, but I'm saying that if I get someone that is qualified with you or your bank or your team, or someone's offering on one of my listings with you from your bank or your team, at least I know you, right? I mean, at least you're hustling and you're calling. So, like, hey, have you always done loans? Have you ever thought about real estate? How's the loan game going for you? Right? I said you should have 5 to 10 people, right? Someone hit me up on IG. I'm all over it with my team. I'm like, what are we telling her? LTS, lean training systems and support, right? Everybody wants to know the exact same shit. LTS, leads training support. Can you deliver on leads training and support? Hell yeah, I can, right? You can, because you hang out with me, because you're in my database and we have a database together. It's crazy. So let's say you have a hustler like that. Neil needs new LOs all the time, right? How's a game going for you, right? Especially if you guys are sitting in traffic coming back. You know, I'm a caller. I like to call you guys all the time, right? So like when you're busy, send me a voicemail through, shoot me a text back. I do have the ability to text you what it is I'm calling about. I just love to hear your voices, right? So I'm a caller. I like to call you guys, but do what you got to do, okay? So when you do it, now use that to build your business. Hey, you know what? One of the things that I do, and by the way, you should get a few reviews. Like, don't have 0 reviews and use this line, because they're going to be like, oh wow, my you got no reviews. Like, this is the first person you told this. Should have a handful, right? But what you could say is like, look, I can't tell you that you know how things are these days. There's just less to go around. Everybody's working harder, right? How's the game for you? How's this? How long you been in it? Cool. One of the biggest ways to get in with our team, because we love to communicate with anybody and everybody that's relevant in this business. Like, we don't just work with our team and just have a closed mindset, is be able to, hey, business to business. I use B2B on so many things, because anybody that's an entrepreneur that knows how to run a business, you don't think, operate, or act like anybody else that does not do that, right? Anybody that's in a business knows they're not like a wage earner. They're just not. You're not built the same. You don't have the same shit that can keep you up at night. You don't typically, your stuff just works completely different. Okay. So if you go, hey, you know what, right now, business to business, we're learning that now more than ever, we need to back each other on reviews, and we need to do each other solids for their business. So what I could do for you is, do you have a Google? Do you have a Zillow profile, anything like that? I could give you a review, man. You know what I mean? I'd love to be able to work with you at some point, right? Definitely email me your info. And if you want in with my team, woo, if you did a review for JT, I know he would love it. It would boost me up in his world, right? And then just because you're answering and spoke to and call rate, so now all of a sudden you do that every, how many of those calls we get per week? How many?
No, I do at least 2 or 3.
Yeah, at least 3, right? Let's say 3 per week. Okay. How hard is it to get Google reviews? 3 Google reviews per week? Or 3 Zillow reviews? Pretty damn hard, right? So imagine you did your 2 to 3 with your actual clients, because this can't work like exclusively. You got to get it from your clients, right? This is just a supplemental, like a little addition, right? But if you did this, like what I'm trying to do, if you just doubled your weekly review count, right? 2 of 3 your own clients, 2 of 3 of just solicitors that are just trying to do business. I mean, I can't fault you for picking up the phone and wanting to call us. I want to call them, right? But in the end of the day, how can we help each other? Your answer rate goes up, your spoke to rate goes up. Shoot, I'll even book you as an appointment if you did that, because my appointment rate will go up. And then I can't really do anything there, you know? But now I'm going to use those analytics. So what's the difference between me and the ISAs where we all lost our best of Zillow? This right here. Just every day, picking up the phone call and trying to make another connection, right? And then going in, hey, by the way, like if you left me like, hey, it was a lender, right? But I got a review coming for us. And if you want, when you see it, if you could do a review back for them, I think they'd really appreciate it, right? I'd be like, yes, right? I'd be like winning.
25 for you.
Yeah. No gift cards for solicitors, because they are distracting your actual production. Yeah. So it's a good bonus, but you can't pay your rent on reviews, right? You can't pay your bills on reviews. So keep that in mind. Okay. But yes, for these ones, for your actual clients or your people that are actually your sphere, I will. For these ones, it's just a good way to do it. But then across the board, just know that's what I told Zillow. I was like, anybody that knows the Zillow platform is going to use this, right? They're going to use it like social media. They're going to use it and they're going to be like, but who are the best companies out there? Who are the best teams out there? The teams that have already planned for it, right? I think right now we're getting bombarded with mobile homes because it's like yeah. And because we're not best of Zillow, I guess this is what we have to deal with, right? And so it's like, my thing is this, yes, if it's $2,500 paychecks, right? Like, let's sling them, get it in, get another transaction. I'm going back into a few of my closings, like we had in Zillow for like 4 or 5 years already, and I'm closing them, right? And he's like, George goes, I don't know if you get credit for those. I was like, you need to speak to somebody. I was like, because we're closing them, but I won't know for 30 days. There's a 30-day lag time. But I'm closing Zillow deals. Hell yeah, we should get credit for it. But if they don't, I literally want to walk into the forums or whatever it is at this events that they do and be like, I don't even need to close new leads. I'll give you the 20 grand a month, but just give me leads. Just make sure my leads will close. So that's what we're working on, a lot of email campaigns, a lot of other stuff that's going to put back a lot more performance. However, when you get those lead lines, just know you are representing the company. Okay. So another cool thing to do is do a review for the company, right? Active needs a little bit more love, right? Like I want to build, because without a face, like your company just isn't, when you think of like Tesla versus like Honda, what do you guys think when you think of Tesla when it comes to people?
Sophisticated.
But like a person. Who do you think of when I say Tesla?
Technology.
Elon Musk. Who do you think of when I say Honda?
The helpful Honda.
Yeah, the guy in the blue shirt, right? There you go. There you go. So all I want to do is when you say active, I want to be mush-ish, right? Like I want to be like, hey, Who's matched selling 10,000 homes over the course of 20 years? I just figured, I was thinking about this last night. My first Zillow lead ever was November 2014. Ever. So next November will be my 10th anniversary in Zillow. I never worked a retail client specifically in real estate until that point. Ever. And I was working real estate in 2003, maybe earlier. But I never bought a lead like that. All my leads were like trigger leads. They were title books. They were loan, you know, I knew their loan information on, you remember title books? Title books, you're like, oh, I know their loan. I know what the rate is they pay, and I can call them and go cash out. I can wrap all their loan, all their bills into a one low monthly payment. If back in this time, you know, they had an 8 or 9%, and then rates went to 4 or 5, you could give them a rate in terms, save them $3,000 a month 15 years ago. And you did all that off of books. Right? It's crazy. So that's a cool thing that in 10 years, but then I look back on it and I go, in 10 years, our performance, we should be a monster of a team on Zillow. Monster. There's teams that have been around a fraction of that time. So just think of yourself. How long have you been in the business? Right? There was a cool thing, all you guys are this. There's a cool thing we're doing for email marketing. So we're starting a new thing called Curator. So Curator is an email marketing system. Amazing, like ahead of its time. But it says, it reaches out and it said, what was the Zillow estimate? So wait a minute. What was the address of the home that you first bought? Okay. Your home address. What did you buy it for? Okay. What was your purchase price? Like when did you buy it? What did you buy it for? And then what's your Zestimate today? And how much money would you have in equity if you'd have kept that house as an investment? So it was like a cool email that they basically did it on social media first, and they had like tons of people comment. Oh my God, my first house was like 80 grand, right? It's like who bought it for the cheapest, right? Oh man, I bought it for 300 from the builder, right? What's it worth now? 1.2, right? And so it creates engagement, right? But it's all well thought out. It's all done. Right? You know, and it gets people thinking real estate's an amazing investment. It gets them thinking less on today's doom and gloom. And it goes, oh man, if I would have just kept the 10 homes I bought over the course of my life, instead of selling everyone every time I could. They're literally convincing themselves that real estate is the best still in terms of investments. It's mind-blowing to me what real estate has done, because I update the HomeBot reports. It's mind-blowing, and HomeBot's awesome. You know, it's mind-blowing how you have to dial it in, because comps are so intrinsic into areas, and people pour all kinds of money into their homes. And it shows on the valuations, right? So things like this are all fun stuff that you can do to help people more. But what you should do is 90% of your brain power should be solving problems for people, specifically real estate. Either people that want to buy homes, people that are selling homes, right? You do this, spend 90% of your day, your time, whatever it is, your time blocking, getting better and skill building. The more your skills increase and the more your efficiency works with those, it will hand in hand lead to whatever opportunity you want. Right? And it's really cool. So cool. Anything else? Good? Bam. 1 minute to spare. All right, guys. I'll see you next week. Everybody have a great weekend. If you need anything, hit me up for anything. And appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Bijan!
Let's go,
BJ.
baby.
By the way, Bijan's out for 3 weeks. So anybody wants a top spot, now's time to get it.
Let's get it, baby.
Okay, take his
So just a
spot.
heads up, Neil's not-
Kobe's out of the building.